Hi everyone, we are back on the Cornerstone SMP once again, and I'm here by this rock that we've been working on in the last episode. And as you can see, I have now added a shipwreck. Now it's kind of just like one of the vanilla shipwrecks, but with a bit more detail, as you can see. And honestly, it took me a while to actually get started on it because I'm always a bit nervous with ships. They have a very unique shape that I find quite tricky to nail. But I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It's relatively small, but it's, as I said, got a lot of detail, which I like. We also have this white wool here on the side, which is supposed to be the sail. Of course, already overgrown with coral and kelp and seagrass, because it's been down here for a long time. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. There's still one thing missing, of course, which is the sirens that I want to put up on the rock itself. Because of course I have this little story in my head of the sirens luring in the innocent seamen who then crash against the rock, which is why we've got a shipwreck, of course, and then get devoured by the sea monster living down in the deep dark cave. I just really like the idea of the build telling a bit of a story, so that's still happening. But right now I actually have a bit of a different project in mind. So I recently had a chat with Paly, who is working on this awesome looking medieval city build that you can see here behind me. Because as of late I've been really in the mood to do some interiors. The only issue is that the buildings in my own base are rather small. Certainly smaller than these ones. And now he was nice enough to allow me to use some of these spaces to put in interior, so that's what I'll be doing. I'll be decorating one or two of these buildings. I've brought a bunch of material to work with, but knowing how these things usually go, I do anticipate having to go back to my base several times to get something I've forgotten, but it should certainly be a good start. Now I really want to make these interiors interesting and detailed and have some kind of depth, like story-wise, to them as well. There's a lot of opportunity to give the interiors some kind of meaning, right? So my first idea was, in every medieval city there's usually a witch living hidden somewhere, right? Of course not everyone knows that she is a witch, but there are some clues and traces to let you know that there might be something fishy going on. So that's kind of the idea for the first one, and I think I'm actually going to use this building right here. It has a lot of space, it looks pretty cool, and I'm sure that we can find a way to put in a hidden room somehow where the witch would have her brewery, her cauldron, and all of that. I've actually settled on a different building. This one right here, it's a bit more hidden away. I feel like that would make more sense, because this is quite in plain sight, right? And here you have to go into a bit of a back alley, and then there's quite some space here as well. So this lower room is pretty much finished. It looks quite normal, right? So you have a pretty basic small kitchen, and a bit of a seating area for guests right here. This is the area where the woman living here puts her clothes, so I will be putting some leather armor on there. Just haven't done that yet, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this lower area. But I do want to actually already put in some traces that you would notice if you were looking for it, right? So for example, let's put an empty bottle down here. We can use the data pack we have to turn the item frame invisible. There we go. Looks like the bottle is just lying there on the ground. Then we can put a mushroom in here. And you know, that's already some hints. Maybe one spider eye, if that's not too much. If I have some space left somewhere where it would make sense. I just put it here on the floor, it's fine. There we go. Yeah, so this is where the woman would host her guests, if she ever has any. But then the upstairs area, that's where the visitors are not allowed to go. So this will be her cauldron room, also her bedroom, but mainly her cauldron room. I actually managed to fit a little bedroom here directly under the roof, so this space is all about the cauldron room now. Yeah, I had quite some fun putting just together a bunch of random stuff that a witch might have in her secret brewing area. So we've got, of course, a lot of obscure candles, and we've got the blaze powder and spider eyes and a bat's head, sea pickles, all that weird stuff, a zombie head over a saw. to get those chunks of zombie heads that you need, you know. And of course the cauldron in the middle. Now the last thing that we need, except for a wall maybe, is the witch herself, of course. I'm gonna have her hold a potion. That seems fitting. And there we go. That's our witch. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the wall away for now while showing you this room, because it's gonna be a bit cramped, I assume, once it's put in. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I'm super happy with this. Yeah, I think that's definitely kind of the special, really unique feel that I wanted to go for. Not like a generic room design, but really something individual for each building. So seems like a pretty good start. I definitely want to do at least one more adding to this one. Now let's get back to the building that I first had my eye on. My second idea was to go for kind of the headquarters of a medieval guild. And this guild will be all about smithing. So metalwork, right? I think this will do nicely. It's definitely a lot more space than the other building has, which makes sense for a big headquarter, right? Probably wasn't called a headquarter back then, was it? I don't know. I don't know what the proper terminology here would be. But yes, then we can turn this level, I think, just into an entrance area, and then up on under the roof could be the conference room, I suppose. And then down here some workstations. So let's get started on that. I'll try to do a bit of a time lapse out of this interior. You of course already know how it turned out, if it turned out at all. It's always a bit difficult with interiors to do time lapses, but we shall see. For now, let's take a look at it together. So as I said, this is just kind of the entrance area right here. So you have this coat rack. Here's a place to put your hat, and just some ores on display. And a bit of a wood storage, I suppose, and some more storage area over here. If we go upstairs, there is a big conference table for the guild to come together and have their discussions on whatever topics guilds discuss about. A bit more storage here in this corner, and then another piece of coal on display encased in glass. Yeah, I used the Phoenix banner that I'm also selling in my shop as kind of their symbol. It's also outside, you might have noticed, at the door. And then last but not least, downstairs is the work area. Yeah, just, you know, an anvil, smelting area, everything they might need. Some more ores, of course, and tools. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope Palithor is happy with this, as well as with the witches building, of course. I definitely had a lot of fun over here, and I really appreciated, as I've said before, the opportunity. Now I gotta clean all of this up. But you know, I thought that was gonna be it for interiors for this episode, but then Braddles came along. He had won the ice race that I built a while back, as you might remember, and he got a voucher for me building something for him, and so let's see what he wanted me to do.
So what I had in mind for this little thing was I had nothing planned for the interior.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking maybe...
Well, that's actually kind of perfect. because on the episode I'm currently working on, I've been doing some interiors for Paly, so I could just continue that run, I guess.
Oh wow! So this is like all interiors for you.
Yeah,
that's good.
Why not?
So I was thinking, like for this downstairs area, it could be either like a kitchen or a living room type situation. Up here, this was going to be my master bedroom. Like it's all glass up here, so you like get a good view. And I thought this would be a great place to have my bedroom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then out here, just like a open outdoor area, maybe somewhere to have like a barbecue.
Yeah.
Barbecue, some seating. Like I was potentially thinking if I was to do it, I was probably going to make maybe downstairs like a living room area, and could be where I cook my meals and eat my food.
Yeah.
Have entertain guests if I will.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
I'm keen just to see how it turns out as well, just to have another input on it as well. So
yeah, no, I'm really excited actually, because Paly space, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's very medieval, of course. So this is going to be a completely different style, but it should be fun.
Yeah. Normally I haven't. This is the first time I've done anything modern myself, so bit out of my comfort zone. But so I wouldn't know even where to begin when trying to think about doing something interior-wise. So I'm keen to see what you come up with.
Yeah, me as well. Yeah, so this is Braddles' awesome-looking new base. Yeah, very, very different style from Paly City. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Now, the medieval style, of course, has really lent itself to make the interiors very detailed. This will be a bit more minimalistic, but I still want to, of course, make it feel lived in. It's obviously going to be very different from what we just did over at Paly. You can't really put a witch's cauldron room or brewery in here. That wouldn't make much sense. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how it will turn out. So I'll get started on this. I'll check back in with you every now and again. I will be giving Braddles a tour once it's finished, but you'll have to check that out on his channel whenever we'll do that. Yeah, so in this video I will just show you a bit of the process. Since the upstairs room will be the bedroom, this area right here will be living room / kitchen all in one. We already have some living room parts with the couch and a lamp and some hanging bookshelves, fluffy carpet. So I think I want to use this wall for the kitchen. The reason I went with dark oak here is just because of the surrounding biome. I always forget to sleep. And also because it has a really nice contrast to the birch floor. And I want to kind of make sure to have some blocks that Braddles can actually interact with and use. Since this is supposed to be his home, right? To actually have some practical use in Minecraft as well. Not just to look at. Let's have a refrigerator right here. That's wrong. Right here. There we go. Yeah, I moved it a bit around. We now have the furnace here on the side. And let's put one of these mini heads, a pumpkin up here. I really liked the coat rack that I did over in the guilds building. I think we can have a version of that right here. This is wrong. There we go. And I wanna, of course, go with the green theme a bit that he incorporated here in the building itself with the concrete. So, for example, we have this green carpet right here. But we also need a contrasting color just to make it a bit more interesting, and I think I'm gonna go with red and crimson because, you know, again, kind of taking inspiration from the biome. So let's put a red tunic or leather chest piece up on that rack. And to tie it all together, we have some plants. I had to be a bit creative here because of these big windows, you can't really put any solid blocks against them. But these leaves work really well. And everything else is, of course, just lower in this case, or more moved into the room, which also gives it an interesting feel, I think. And there we have it for the living room / kitchen. I'm gonna continue working on this, but I won't show any more in my own video. But of course, Braddles' channel is linked down in the description, together with all the other members of the SMP. So in one of his upcoming videos there'll be probably me giving a tour to him through his newly decorated house and through the entirety of it. Not just this one room that's finished for now, but up here as well. And out here. Yeah. But I'm gonna send you off now to me in the future. We have done a bunch of stuff today, but there is one last thing that I want to do that I've teased in the beginning of the video. And that is, of course, the sirens that are supposed to sit up here to serve as lure for the innocent ships passing by. Usually when sirens are depicted in illustrations and stuff like that, they look kind of like mermaids, really. But we already have mermaids. These guys right here, of course. Another popular depiction is half woman, half bird. That's very hard to do. I'm kind of not really up for that with armor stance. So instead we will be doing a kind of mermaid, but they're gonna be more like the scary cousins of the ones that we have so far. So I'm gonna use these wither heads right here. They kind of look like they could belong to sirens, I feel like. They kind of look like they're singing, right? Especially this one. And a bit of a different color scheme just for the clothes. That looks actually kind of scary. And honestly, I really like it being just the one, I think. It really brings a lot of focus on it. And the blue stands out great, of course, against the grey of the rock. So yeah, I think we might already have it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I have been Alice, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!